negotiations.
If we build it, they will come.
All right, this is Q from Rave Creations. We have another builder with me. This is Phil. Phil,
How you doing?
nice to meet you, man.
Good
you
to
did
meet.
drive with me here, but that's okay.
That is true.
So, same question I've asked everybody else. First one is, what kind of got you into building?
Well, I started off with building Mandalorian kits, armor, helmets, and then I branched off, into major 3D printing. I came from a fiberglass day era. Everything was Pepakura and fiberglass and Bondo.
You must have started
And then-
off as a car guy.
No, I started, yes, motorcycle guy actually.
Okay.
So, couldn't afford a car, had to work on the motorcycles. So from there, I branched out to 3D printing, got rid of, the toxic fumes and fiberglass and all that stuff.
Absolutely. I
I
remember
traded it for toxic ABS fumes.
Yeah.
And then went to PETG, and that's where I've been forever. So now I just print and build and print and build.
Awesome. All right. Well, then, into my next question is, how has the con and build community helped you along the way to get you to the point to where you're at now?
Just being included in a lot of the set buildings and the ever growing popularity with just sets and stuff that we build, and just expanding and always building and always working on something better.
Yeah, I know your involvement with us, but you've helped us out. I mean, we started off a couple of years ago with just, one or two droids. And I know your assortment of droids has grown to probably 10 at this point that you've built for us to allow us to use in a set. So I know you stay quite busy for us in what you've done, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, I feel like if my printers aren't printing, then they're just going to waste. So I'm always working, always printing, always working on another droid.
Absolutely.
Expansion.
So as far as working on droids, what is one of your favorite builds that you've done?
One of my I'm gonna have to say Flo, which is Diva actually.
Diva, yes.
Yeah, she's our female vocalist for the droid bar, and just one of my favorites. Still needs some upgrades. You're always upgrading, trying to make it better.
Everything that we build is a constant upgrade.
Every year.
Absolutely.
So just always improving, never looking back.
Do you have anything on your list to possibly do this year? Any new droids, any new buildings, anything like that?
Yes, but no. I have to update.
Update.
A lot of electronics, a lot of try to get everything working easier. Batteries are always an issue. So you got to set them up to where you can change them out without, stopping production, basically.
And tearing
You're
completely
in and
down,
out, yes.
right.
You're in and out, change one battery, done. You just try to simplify everything.
Well, I'm excited for our next con together. Not sure exactly where that one will be.
Yes.
But I'm sure you'll be with us at MegaCon 2026 when that comes around.
Yes.
And if any of you want to see some of the droids and some of the stuff that Phil makes, and you're with Camino Outpost.
Camino Outpost.
If you want to see anything that Phil does, you'll have to come see us at MegaCon 2026 in Orlando, Florida. So, Phil, awesome talking with
Appreciate
you.
it.
And we'll see you
On
around
to the next job.
Yep. All right, everybody, this is Q again from Rave Creations. Interviewing Jose, the man who's put all this together for us at PMW Robots. Jose, thanks, bro.
Thanks for making
having
the
us
trip,
here.
man.
Yeah, hey, no
Appreciate
problem,
it.
man. We appreciate the invite.
Yeah,
so, we wanted to ask you a couple questions. Again, our whole point of this is to help each other out in the community, but not just us, those who may be just getting into it or wanting to figure out how to get into it. And maybe a little bit gun shy and whatnot. So just asking a few questions on how we've gotten to where we're at and where we're going. So my first question I've asked everybody is, What is it that got you into building?
Well, first and foremost, name's Jose, as you can tell. I own PMW. And what got me into this was I served in the Army for 10 years, and somebody introduced me to BB-8. I think it was Force Awakens or something like that. Anyways, I had watched the movie on deployment and came back, got stationed in Korea, and I saw that ball roll, and I was like, how the hell did they do that? And so
I think we all said that.
Yeah. So, unbeknownst to everybody, it was all movie magic, right?
Right.
Which we all figured a little bit of it. But then Ed Zarek started working on a design, which a lot of the early BB-8 adopters or builders built his design, and I started on the journey, and from there on out, it led from one thing to another, to building the pit droids, to building the probe droids that I have in the shop now.
So it started from a movie, seeing an amazing droid, and you said, I've got to do that.
Yeah, it was more of the challenge, right?
And it was.
Yes.
That was a big challenge.
It was like, no one has done this. Well, Ed Zarek started the journey, but he hadn't completed it at the time that I joined it. He was just showing his progress, and then I figured I'd just jump into it. And then I was in Korea, and I had no access to CNC mills or anything. So what I was doing was I'd 3D print a part and go take it to the Air Force CNC shop, and I'd be like, "Hey,
careful.
No, it's all legal." It's so I'd give it to them, and then I'd say, "Hey, can you make this for me?" And they have to train their younger, airmen that are coming in,
correct,
some way, somehow. So then they would, with calipers, check the part and then inspect it. And so I was getting free parts,
and they were
getting training.
Right.
So it was a good trade-off. And then they would see me around base, and they'd be like, "Hey, you got any parts for us?" And I'm like,
okay, that's an awesome story.
Yeah,
I would have never thought that.
Yeah, I actually do have some parts. And so yeah, that's how it started.
Well, that's awesome. All right. Well, that leads me to my next question here is, how did the con and build community help you out along the way to get you to the point to where you're at now?
That's okay. Yeah, that's a loaded question. So,
it is.
So a lot of people I don't think anybody's ever built, or I don't think anybody gets to where they're at by themselves, right? So like
right.
everyone is either influenced or mimics somebody else, right?
Absolutely.
Right? I have a lot of mentors in my life, both both professionally and personally. And I give a lot of credit to the mentors that I had in the Army. They really helped me get to where I am now, in the sense of the determination, the always challenging myself. But to go back to your original question, in the community, there are some mentors, I would say, or some people that I looked up to, right, in the community. There's when I was building my probe, there's one specifically that was Michael McMaster. He had already built the droid. The droid was originally designed by Dave Moog in the UK, but Dave Moog designed it as a static droid. And Michael McMaster apparently was one of his dream droids, and so I had seen it. And to be honest with you, I was never really into Star Wars.
Pause.
Yeah,
Did
no,
you really?
Yeah. So I'll mention that story too.
I'm going to give you the pass card on this for right now.
No. I'll mention that story too. Well, I was raised a little poor kid, right? So that was never a thing for me. I was in the streets all the time, and doing some mischievous things, and so I was never introduced to it. In our culture, it wasn't a thing, right? And I ran into it on deployment. On deployment, one of my roommate was four grown men in a Connex on bunk beds, and we were off a 24-hour duty, and he said, "We're gonna watch all 6 movies," and we literally sat and watched all 6 movies. I like
him already.
Yeah, so Jesse Peters, that's who did it.
Thank you, Jesse Peters.
So, then fast forward to now, I made the BB-8. I got out of the military. I worked a few Disney projects, thanks to some Imagineers, and then I wanted to challenge myself and go bigger. And I saw Michael McMaster's progress on his probe droid, and I was like, dang, he's the only person in the United States that has built that. I was like, I'm going to be number 2. And so I just went on the journey. And then my goal was, it was MegaCon 2024. Yeah, 2024 is when that was my goal to have it done by. It was 2023 when I started. And in about 6 months, I built the probe droid. And I finished him up, and I was able to meet. And since then, I did, I think, 13 events with
13.
that one. Yeah, with that one droid in a year.
Well, that's an amazing build that you have right there. That's
Thank
probably
you.
one of my favorites that I've
Yeah,
seen.
thank you.
Yeah. Well, going into that, so let me ask you, and it may be this, but what's been one of your favorite builds?
So I guess every builder says their most recent build is their favorite one, right?
Yeah,
So I would have to say my favorite one currently right now is the Viper probe that I just recently debuted at MegaCon 25, and the only reason is because I built it, right? And I say I built it, but there was a few other team members, Michael Baddeley and Stefan. Helped me out with it. Michael Baddeley helped with the CAD design on the legs and the guns. I did the CAD design on the body and the head, and then I had Tim Wallace design the base for me. Just the covering, the rock.
The rock.
So some personal reasons I wanted that specific person to do it, but he designed the rock for me, and but the structural engineering, the electrical, all that was done by myself. Stefan did the Arduino code on the body and the head, and but it's my favorite because no one has done it, and so it was a droid that wasn't supposed to be a real droid in Solo the movie, and
it's amazing. It's so menacing when you stand next to it, and then you have the probe droid there as well. That's the combination.
It dwarfs it.
Yeah,
it
does.
It really does, and seeing it 1-to-1, you see it in the computer, and when you design it, and you're like, oh, okay, it's gonna be pretty big, and you just don't realize how big it actually is.
And with that said, I'm going to go off to the side here a little bit, because I know you started off with just 1 or 2 3D printers, like probably most of us started off with. I know you probably have a printer farm of printers to get to this point to build a droid like that. How many printers did it take to get this droid done?
So the bodies are all, the body and the head, all the big parts, I'll say, are all printed on Ender 5 Pluses, and it's just what I have. They're reliable, and I like them. I guess there are better printers out there, but
they work.
Yeah,
they work.
If it works, don't fix what's not broke.
That's
right.
right.
So,
that's right.
So, but I'm looking to upgrade. But with this one, the Ender 5 Pluses, I have about, I think, 6 of them I'm running right now, but then I have 4 other bamboos that I run at simultaneously. So
Non-stop, so you sound like me.
Yes. So they're pretty much nonstop, and all the greeblies, all the detailed parts are done on the bamboos, and then all the bigger parts,
Structural, larger
that's
parts.
right. I'll run them on the Ender 5s with a 0.8 nozzle.
How many hours roughly do you think you have just on printer time to get that pulled off?
To get this project pulled off?
Yeah, because I know you were rushing to try to get it done
yeah.
for MegaCon when we spoke.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. Give me 1 second. Let's get accurate, actually. It's I had to so I documented it for another interview, and I could tell you right now, actually. Give me 1 sec. Here goes. So, total hours to date on that droid was 1,405 hours. Total fail time was 123.2 hours. I had 5 repairs that in between, and by the way, this was all in 2.5 months. From start of CAD
You are a crazy man.
to MegaCon. So 5 repairs, it was 2 BL touches, 2 filaments out of tolerance, and then 1 cooling fan.
And you brought up a good point there, and I think it's important to share with the building community, at least the new ones, because I'm sure all of us that have been doing this for a while, we would all agree, you're going to have some failures.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not always a mechanical failure on the machine, but failures happen.
That's right.
On design, you may design something and your tolerances are off or whatever the case may be. It's going to happen.
That's right.
Don't let it discourage you.
That's
it's
right.
going to happen.
Yeah.
But if you keep up with it like yourself, and awesome build. I mean,
Thank
that's
you.
probably one of my favorites there.
Thank you,
so.
man. Thank you. Yeah, it definitely was it tested my patience in many different ways, but it's very rewarding, like you said, right? I'll say 99% of the builders in this community don't get paid to do this on a daily.
No, we don't.
So what's the rush, right? What's
Enjoy the journey.
Enjoy the journey. So if you planned a week and it took 2, that's okay.
It's okay.
Lesson learned. Write
Lesson
it down
learned.
and keep driving.
Right.
That's it. So, but at the end of the day, get it done.
Yeah.
Just get it done. What I tell people that are trying to get into this and that are I want to start something. I have a 3D printer, and how do I start printing? You know, Michael Badley has some amazing 3D printer files. Dave Moog, if you want to build static, Dave Moog has some amazing files if you just want to build a static BD1. And there's also groups out there that already automate it, right? What I tell people is go buy the files, go download them, and get your printer running.
Get started.
And grab a Tupperware, put it beside the printer, print the part, throw the part in the bin, and then press next. That's it. And at the end, let's say it takes 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. Forget about it. Just go down the list, go down the file, and put complete. And then the next thing you know, you have everything printed, and when you have free time, you just put it together. That's it.
Right.
It's literally that.
It's called
simple.
passion. You got to have the
it.
passion to do it.
So
with that means, I know you have a lot of enjoyment out of this, but I'm sure you see enjoyment from those who go to the cons and having you come up on them with your probe droid. How awesome is it to have fans just lose it with some of your creations?
I think that's the driving factor for building, right? They call it our smile machines.
Right.
It's why I do it. Because if it was for
It's not for money.
Yeah, if it was for profitability, I don't think we'd be doing this,
No,
right?
no.
If we were pulling the books on this, it would be a
lot of negative signs
It would
right
be
there.
a failing business. I don't think that's why we do this. That is the main reason why I do this. I thoroughly enjoy for a guy that went to the opening in 1977 to watch the first one come up to me and say, "This is the only thing that I've ever wanted to see in real life." And there, by the way, mind you, there's only 2 fully animatronic ones in the United States, mine and McMaster's.
Right.
Right. And so to be one of those guys, to be able to present that to them for no cost, for
So
free.
bring a smile on
That's
their
it,
face.
for free, bro. It's worth every penny, every sweat,
priceless.
every tear, every yell, every broken tool, every cut finger. It's worth it all, man.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly why we do it. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, then this brings me to my last question.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got some amazing things built right now that I just thank you is all I can say because I just love having them there at the con and stuff. But do you have anything upcoming that you're excited to work on? Anything that you can talk about maybe?
I do have one big thing that I'm not going to talk about.
Okay.
That's gonna. If you want to see it, you can go to MegaCon 2026. I promise you, it
Hold
will
on.
be ready.
MegaCon 2026. We've got something new coming.
Yep. So MegaCon 2026, that will be there. But I am working on 2 astromechs right now. I know they're a little, I guess I say cliche. Excuse me. But these 2 astromechs, I've built a lot of astromechs in my time. Mm-hmm. And I noticed I have never built one for myself. I have a chopper, but
I love your chopper as well.
Thank you. But I've never built an R2 unit for myself.
For yourself.
And I've worked with teams to complete other people's R2s, but I've never done my own. So I'm building one with my daughter now.
That's awesome.
And yeah,
incorporating the family. With that.
to me, I feel like this is going to be her thing. It's hers to do whatever she wants to do, whatever color she wants for it to be color combination. She can have it, and then I'll have my own color combination.
And I love that you brought that up. Miguel, that we interviewed today as well.
Yeah.
He had mentioned about Star Wars and the culture moving forward.
Yeah.
You know how diverse it is, and we're not just thinking about us. Getting our kids involved and these young ones. For the future. I mean, there's so much there with Star Wars, and not just Star Wars, just in building, getting your hands on something.
Learning.
That's
right.
it's awesome that we can make learning, I don't want to say easier, but letting them understand accessible, and it can be fun. Yeah, there's a lot of hard work. You know, you're going to cut up your hand, you're going to get upset, you're going to want to quit at times, but you're not going to, because you want to see the end result.
That's right.
Letting them see you're going to have those trials in front of you, but if you keep with it, look at the outcome. Look at what
I think
I've done.
I think Miguel's spot on. I think right now this generation has led to a group of individuals, and this is just a blanket statement, right? It's led to a group of individuals that want instant gratification.
Absolutely.
And that's the problem. You know, we scroll through TikTok, we scroll through YouTube, we scroll through Facebook, and all these reels, and you get, why do you think they've shortened the reels to 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds? Because now it's crack cocaine.
Right.
It's you're getting what you want and moving on.
Right.
And that's what kids are used to. They're used to the instant dopamine hit. They instant success, instant everything.
I can tell you, and I'm sure you can too, it's not that easy.
That's right, and that's what I try to instill with my daughter and both my daughters and my kids, is that, you know, this is not instant.
Absolutely.
You have to earn this dopamine hit. So you have to earn this smile. You have to earn this, but you know, dang sure that when you're done, dude, you earned it. Like, you're proud of it. You have a sense of joy, a sense of pride in your finished product. And not only that, not only do you get to enjoy it, but you get to share that. Going to a hospital, going to a charity event, going.
Yeah, it's not a one-time hit.
That's correct.
Where it's a one and done.
That's correct.
You've got this droid or whatever you may build.
That's
if
correct.
it's a droid or anything, and if you work it right, this is, as you say, dopamine hit, a hit after hit after hit. Depending on where you go, hospitals,
That's right.
charity events, these cons. The first time you have a little kid run up to you and hug you, or in your droid, hug a droid. I've got pictures upon pictures of seeing this, and even if they're not even my builds, you know, just seeing a little 2 or 3 year old just melt and walk up, hug a droid, or somebody in cosplay, that makes it worth it every
That's right.
time.
That magic in the eye.
Yeah, you're right. It's magic. Yep.
Yeah, that magic, the reality of this is on a screen. This is not supposed to be real, but it's
real.
It's real. I can
Right.
touch this.
Yeah.
And that you can just read it. They don't have to say one word. You can read it, and they're like, "This is real."
Right.
Like, holy crap. And that my daughters have experienced it. Why do you? I'm one of the few. You worked with me a couple times, right? And
Yeah.
I'm one of the few that bring my family to every event. Some people don't like it, and
It's not for everybody,
and that's okay.
and that's okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's not for everybody, and I understand. And some people are like, oh, well, you're doing business with your family. I am. I have a long-term goal for that, right? So my kids see the business side of it too. They sometimes sit down for the talk, and they'll sit at a distance and they'll ask me in the car, "Hey, Dad, why'd they ask that question? Why'd they ask?" And I sit there and explain it to them.
Yeah.
And I let them know the business side, but I also let them know they see the smiles. They see that all this hard work that it took to get to MegaCon, all the heartache, the building boxes, the hours in the shop, all that. They get to see all the smiles that it brings to people. I'm not making any money off of it. No one paid me to go to MegaCon. No
Right.
one paid me for that challenge. No one paid for the materials. No one. I paid out of pocket. I didn't ask for a penny from anyone, and I
You
let
were
them know
paid
that.
for in smiles.
That's it. And my kids see that, and being that way and instilling that into my kids, I feel is my overall end goal, right? Like, to let them know that, hey, grab it, whatever your talent is. Let's say they don't build, they can at least instill that in whatever they do end up.
And maybe
doing.
they feel they don't have the talent, and they may not be at a high level. Maybe they'll never get there, but get someplace.
Yeah, but but to that point, right? Even if let's say they become a doctor, that still, you can still give, right? You can
Right.
still give in the same manner, and they can remember. My dad wasn't a doctor, but he gave and gave and gave, right?
Right.
I just want them to learn that, like, hey, this person doesn't have insurance. Hey, don't worry about it. Tell them I'll take care of them anyways. Right? You see that? So that's what I'm trying to say. If they're a dentist, I don't care what they're doing.
It doesn't cost anything for mom and
That's
dad.
correct. So
We've got to be willing
spread
to
your
give it, yeah.
talents for free, and I feel like that's the most important part, man.
Jose,
So,
awesome. I'm with you all the way, and I
Yep.
appreciate you
yeah, no
bringing in
problem.
your family.
I appreciate you guys coming out here
Yeah,
today.
thank you so much. We've had a great time here this
Yeah,
weekend.
yeah.
I look forward for the next one. But not only that, I'm looking forward to working with you at the next con, whichever one that may be. There's a lot of them out there.
Hopefully some coming up soon.
There's always some coming up soon.
Yeah.
So, but again, I appreciate it. And until the next one, everybody, this is Q from Rave Creations. This is Jose from PMW Robots. We'll see you next time.
All right.